Hi, this is Warlow from Business Loan Services and welcome to my Friday Business Finance Bulletin, my weekly roundup of news, tips, ideas and strategies on raising finance and dealing with banks. So what have I got for you this week? We're going to be looking at the startup market and why it's so difficult for startups to get hold of money from high street banks. Looking at the alternative finance market and an awards ceremony that they had this week. Looking at some new product being launched by Funding Night. The messages about the debacle with Tesco's and their financial information, and in my tip of the week, a look at why we should be considering writing a one-page business plan. So, startups. As we know, I may not have to tell you if you're a new business that trying to get money for a startup from high street banks is notoriously difficult. Now, a new survey out by online platform Angel's Den, which brings together equity providers together with individuals and businesses looking to sell equity, they did a survey of the startup market and found that 58% of startups said they funded their new business via a combination of personal savings and also loans from families and friends. And in fact, only 19% of those surveyed said that they were successful in getting money from high street banks. Now, why is that? Well, when asked, there's a couple of reasons why they got knocked back. The top two were 32% of them said they got a no because the banks deemed that their financial information just was unrealistic. Now, you consider this, you've got no track record, so you've got nothing to benchmark your projections against in form of past performance. And if you're looking at a stellar increase in business over 2 years, it just may look unbelievable. And so that would be enough for a lender to say no. 28% of them said they were knocked back because they just didn't have any sector experience. Now again, think about this. Banks like to lend money to people who understand the sector. And if it's a brand new sector to you, the bank may be concerned that there are pitfalls that you're just not aware of. So if you're looking to raise money as a startup, be prepared for a rocky ride if you want to go down the high street route. Think about all those alternative sources. Sticking with alternative sources, the alternative finance market had an awards ceremony this week, and good to see a lot of the names that we normally feature in this bulletin actually winning awards. And the property sector, the property website or crowdfunding website was won by LendInvest. Fastest growing platform was Wellesley & Co. Funding Circle won the best peer-to-peer business platform. Crowdcube won one for the best crowdfunding platform, and RateSetter, which is in the consumer market, actually won 4 awards, including the People's Choice and the best platform for consumer loans. So good to see that industry celebrating success, and I'm sure we'll see lots of new names in there next year in view of the speed with which that sector is growing. Sticking with the alternative market, Funding Night, an online lender and business loans, has come out with a new product for bridging loans. So if you're looking to purchase commercial premises or residential premises to do up, turning into buy to let, and you just need some short-term money, you can now do that through Funding Night. They're going to give loans up to £500,000 secured on the property that you're obviously going to repair, and 2-year periods. So they expect that money to be paid back by the end of 2 years. So have a look at that if you're looking for some short-term money to refurbish a property. At the same time, Funding Night has also revised its criteria, and so now they will lend you up to £250,000. But from £150,000 to £250,000, they may look for some additional security in order just to strengthen the deal a bit. But good to see them increasing the maximum amount that they're looking to lend. So if you want to know more, check them out on fundingnight.com. Now, Tesco's came out with news this week that they got their financial information wrong. So they've had to come to the markets with their tail between their legs and confess that they had overstated their previous profits in their interim figures by £250 million. Ouch, not a small figure. So obviously the market reacted badly with the share price down, and it evoked a lot of controversy. So what's the lesson here? Well, obviously, as a business and you're looking to lend money, you've got to make sure that your financial information is accurate. So, think about this. You go to the bank, you borrow money, you show them your management accounts that you're going to be making, say, £150,000 this year. But 3 months later, you go back to them and say, Joe, we've just finished our year end and we've just realized we're nowhere near 150,000. We're more likely to make 25,000 because we got our numbers wrong. That really dents your credibility and your standing in the eyes of the bank. It's something you want to avoid. So you've got to make sure you work very closely with your accountant and make sure that all your systems and processes are right, that you don't fall into the trap of misrepresenting what your true profit figures are. So, in my tip of the week, earlier this week we started another series of workshops run on behalf of the Welsh Government via Business Wales. We're doing a series of 4 over this week and next week as I record this. And I did the first of them on Monday and had an interesting debate with the crowd there, and the workshop was all about access to finance, about the importance of business plans, and we got into the question about how large should business plans be and should we actually have a business plan. So in this little bit of a clip that I recorded after the event, I share a thought about one-page business plans. So let's go to that clip now. So one of the debating points that came out of the seminar that I was doing today was around business plans. And one aspect of business plans that we were looking at is why people don't write business plans. And we came up with a whole host of reasons. And one of the reasons was that people say they just don't have the time. Well, we do have the time. It's just as we decide it's not big enough priority in our lives and we go and decide to do something different instead. Now, when it comes to writing business plans, we know that banks want to see a business plan, whether it's something the size of War and Peace, which I certainly don't advocate, but something even more condensed. And, it does take time to do. But here's the thing. I'm always a great believer that businesses of all sizes, whether they're borrowing or not, should have some form of business plan. Now, for businesses that are not borrowing, and that may be you still need a plan. And it can be simple as a one-page business plan, a very focused document. Now, what can we include on that one-page business plan? Well, it's very easy. There's only 2 questions you need to ask yourself. Sit down at the beginning of every year, or whichever point you want to in your year, and the first question to ask yourself is, where do I want to be? That's the first question, the first half of the one page. And there you're setting out all the different goals and targets you want to achieve this year. Now, your definition of success is going to be very different from mine. So it may be that you define success as a certain level of turnover, a certain number of employees, a number of locations you want to sell to, a number of products, whatever it may be. That's included in the first part of where do we want to be. The second half of that one-page business plan then is, okay, what actions do we need to take in order to get there? And then it's a case of simply listing down and brainstorming everything that you need to do in that forthcoming 12 months in order to get to the point where you want to be. So it's as simple as that. And there is your one-page business plan, where we want to be, what actions are we going to take to get there. And those actions, only 3 or 4, no more than that. And they are very focused things that you need to be doing during that 12 months. And you live your business by those actions. So there we are, a one-page business plan. The business plan does not have to be a big, time-consuming, complex document. But boy, will it pay you dividends. So, could you write a one-page business plan? Doesn't have to be complicated, does it? So that's it for this week. As ever, I hope you enjoyed this video, and please share it amongst your friends or give it a like on social media if you want to share those tips. Next week, it'll be another special edition. I'll be attending an Intrabiz business show. It's an exhibition being held here in Cardiff in South Wales, and I'll be taking my camera and hopefully getting some interviews with people in the finance world and successful entrepreneurs. So catch that video next week. So that's it for this week. Have a great and successful, profitable week, and I look forward to being with you again next Friday. Bye-bye now.